I never imagined I'd be confessing this to anyone, let alone putting it out into the world. But sometimes secrets become so heavy they threaten to crush you from the inside out. That's where I am now, crushed, desperate, and haunted by truth I wish I could bury forever. My name is Lauren, I'm 35, and for the past 8 years, I've been married to Ethan. From the outside, our marriage looked ordinary, maybe even happy. Like most couples, we had our ups and downs, our quiet Sunday mornings and heated arguments, but I always believed we were strong enough to weather anything. I clung to that belief until the day everything unraveled in a way I could never have prepared for. The truth? I had been living a lie. Not a little white lie, not the kind you tell to spare someone's feelings, but a secret so massive that it has the power to destroy lives. I never planned God, I never thought I'd be this person. But here I am, and it started so simply, so innocently, and then just snowballed. It all began the afternoon my best friend, Monica, dropped by. Ethan was working in his office down the hall, his fingers clattering away on his keyboard like always. Monica had always been blunt, sometimes painfully so, but I appreciated her honesty. Usually, it felt like a safe space to vent, but that day, her honesty felt more like a dagger. We were chatting about the usual stuff, work, life. The kids went out of nowhere. Monica grinned and made a joke so sharp it felt like she was slicing open my soul. She laughed. He really doesn't know, does he? That boy's not even his and he walks around like the proudest dad on earth. Her laughter rang out, but behind it I felt the sting of something cruel. My breath caught. My entire body tensed. She wasn't talking about random men, she was talking about Ethan. About my husband. About our son. My world stopped spinning for a second. In that moment, the secret I'd worked so hard to suppress rose to the surface, demanding to be acknowledged. How had I let this happen? How had I become so comfortable with the lie that it felt normal, even as it gnawed at me every day? I tried to push the thought away as Monica left, but I couldn't. The air in the house felt charged, tense. I told myself that Ethan was buried in his work, that he hadn't heard a word, but even I didn't believe that. When he didn't come out of his office, didn't say anything, my heart pounded so loudly I could barely think. Was this the moment everything I feared would come true? That evening, as I stood over the stove pretending to cook dinner, Ethan appeared behind me. He didn't say a word at first. I could feel his eyes burning into my back. I kept stirring, hoping the tension would just dissolve if I ignored it. But suddenly he spoke. Lauren, I heard everything. Just 4 words, but they landed like a sledgehammer. I froze, my knuckles turning white around the spoon. Should I lie? Try to explain. My mind scrambled for an answer, but my voice was a whisper. Everything? I asked, barely able to meet his gaze. He nodded, his jaw tight. Yeah. Monica isn't exactly subtle. His tone was biting, but behind the sarcasm was pure pain. It was like the ground beneath me split open. He didn't yell. He didn't even let me explain. He just looked at me, looked through me, and said, I'm done being made a fool. The weight of those words nearly brought me to my knees. I wanted to reach for him, to plead, to explain that fear not malice had kept me silent. But the words tasted hollow even as I thought them. I had betrayed him in the most profound way, and now the truth was loose, impossible to cage. The next days blurred together. Ethan barely spoke, barely looked at me. We became ghosts drifting through the same house, each burdened by our own pain. I tried to talk to him, to find the words to make things right, but every apology was met with silence or cold dismissal. The weight of my lie became a wall I couldn't scale, a prison I couldn't escape. Eventually, Ethan couldn't take it anymore. One evening, after another day spent in misery, he broke the silence. His voice was steady but flat. I can't do this anymore, Lauren. I don't know how to look at you the same way. I'm not saying I don't love you. But trust? That's gone. I wanted to scream, to cry, but I refused to fall apart in front of him. He deserved my honesty, not my tears. I'm sorry, I choked out, knowing it wasn't enough. He shook his head. It doesn't matter. The damage is done. You made your choice. I watched as he left the room, the distance between us more unbearable than ever. A week passed, every day felt like drowning. We went through the motions for our son's sake, but the silence between us was suffocating. I tried to be the mother he needed, but every time I looked at my boy, guilt threatened to swallow me whole. He deserved better than this fractured home. Better than the mess I'd created. Finally, Ethan told me he needed space, real space. I don't even know if I want to fix this, he said, his voice tired, defeated. The words shattered the fragile hope I clung to. I watched as he packed the bag, his movements slow, mechanical. He looked at me one last time, sadness etched into his face, and laughed. I stood alone, listening to the echo of his footsteps, feeling the finality settle into my bones. In the days that followed, I wandered through the house in a daze, replaying every moment, every trace. I had destroyed my marriage, shattered the man I loved, and for what? The future is a blur now. I don't know what comes next or if forgiveness is even possible. All I know is that secrets have a way of coming for you, no matter how tightly you hold them. And when they do, there's no turning back, only the slow, painful work of picking up what's left.